don't know what went into that process. I met the criteria to be selected, but I wasn't.
You tune into the motherfucking Riot Network.
In the dirt, trying to find my life.
It was more like unplanned parenthood. Your pops was one condom break away from you being just another nutty block nigga. How ironic.
You put one hand trying to be fancy. Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair. The kick hurt me more than it hurt you. I treat a threat like.
Soon as they take that mean hit, it's guerrilla warfare in the jungles. Just max the straps with the beams quick. Nigga.
I ain't scared to let the max spit. Cause when I log on, I turn into a whole nother nigga. I'm a catfish.
Lauren Hill, I'ma let us sing. Now it's so in the sky, nothing even matters, but everything is everything. Jesus West.
But y'all ain't catch that? That means I don't care who y'all glorify. My bars will make the Lord cry. I am God's here, okay?
Catching them both couldn't be any better. I lift the rifle and synchronize your menstrual cycles. These pussies bleeding together to be as whatever. I really tote my gun. I'm Homer Simpson. I really choke my son.
But I got something for this stupid fuck, Ruger bust. That mean I put a pound to your chest and a snap like. Shit sounded like computer love.
You ain't liver than us. Drive-bys and buck 50s. I'm used to riding the bus. Should I
Chop a couple fingers off. The Lord motherfucker be throwing up mafia forever. I love it.
I'll stick your hands and your feet in a lunch pail. Let's see if you got the nerve to tell a nigga to pack a lunch again.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Ethan here from barsandbattles.com, Riot Network. If you don't want to riot, you better tune into this network. We've got an exclusive interview right here with our guy Emerson Kennedy, fresh off his battle at Ultimate Madness with Glue Easy, man. How you feeling about everything?
No kimono on. Feels strange not to have a kimono on. Feel naked.
What about no chainmail on?
Yeah, no chainmail.
Yeah, no protection.
No
man,
necklace. I'm fucking with the mic. Feel good, man. I feel good. It's a weird place to be in. Wanting to win so bad, and then winning, and having a split second to be like, get back at it. You know, it's like, got no time. You know, it's like, I mean, so shout out to Jay and Fonz for doing this, going the whole way last time, because it's like, there's no time to celebrate.
So you got like 2 weeks until the next one, pretty much, right? That's what they told you?
Yeah. So me and Danny on the way back, we're like writing it out together. It's like, bro, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday all needs to be around. And he's right. Round 1 on Monday, round 2 on Tuesday, round 3 on Wednesday, and the rest of the time perfect and memorize. You know, like, it's a pressure cooker, man.
Yeah. Now I know that you've been a little bit more selective with your battles over your career. You know, you usually go quite a bit of time before or in between battles. So have you ever done anything on this short notice, 2 weeks? Have you ever done big battles like this back to back like that?
Not to this extent. When I was first starting to battle rap, me and Danny did a battle in Utah on AHAT with like a 24-hour notice. Okay. It was just one round, like 3 or 4 minutes. You know, nothing crazy. And me and Reese had the baby shower. I think it was like on 2 days, but that was more like just about the event. You know, not trying to beat anybody. So to this magnitude, where I've had some pretty decent sized battles. Every one of these battles are going to be the biggest battle of my career.
Okay.
You know, that's how I'm approaching it. I think the reality of it is that too. Guys like Danny and Mike P, it's not. They've had bigger battles, but for me, these are the biggest battles, you know, I've had.
Okay. So going back to, you know, the lead up, the promo and stuff like that, break down for me, you know, kind of the creative choice of, like you said, the kimono, the chainmail, like it was Game of Thrones for a minute. You know what I mean? That's what, you know, I saw a lot of memes out there and stuff like that. Yeah, when the face-offs were going on, we're like, what is this dude doing? And like, he's gonna be in a whole nother bag.
They were killing me, man. They were killing me. I've used the last month and ramped it up a lot in the last 2 weeks. Anything that reminds me of war or combat. Okay. Anything. I mean, all the film I watch, all the music I listen to, the TV the shows that I watch, everything's war or combat related, and things like that. Wearing a headdress, obviously it looks gimmicky, you know, and to some extent it is, to be completely honest, but it definitely keeps me in that mindset, man. I'm not like these, I don't know, I shouldn't assume, but I'm not like these other battle rappers who are easy. They can write their rounds fairly easy. I have to, it's a journey getting into the mindset of writing battle rap for me. So a lot of things have to go right for me to be able to do that, and I'm trying to surround myself with war. You know, combat, war. I'm only podcasts I've listened to are only talking about fighting or besting someone else. It's just, you have to stay there. I really believe in this tournament that it's not the best battle rapper that's going to win. It's whoever stays focused the longest. You know, so I'm trying to do that now. You know, I'm trying to stay focused.
Tell me about the motivation for you for the tournament. I mean, you know, is it the money? Is it the opportunity? Is it just, you know, winning the tournament, being the winner of Ultimate Madness? Is it the look after? You know, what is it exactly that's motivating you to really push you forward and push your pen for this tournament?
You know, as men, and there's female battle rappers too, so I don't know. I couldn't speak for that, I would assume, but as men, we're flawed beings, man. We're simple and we're very flawed beings on the spectrum, but for me, men are simple where they want to best another man. They just always have. It's just natural. You know, that's the reason why we buy nice cars and live in nice places. It's because we want to be seen separate from another man, you know, and all of that is stemming from just combat.
Yeah.
You know, like watching sports now, it's like, that's cool, this team beat that team. All that is a euphemism for combat. You know, you just want to best another man, you know, and I mean, that's a long answer to tell you that battle rap, the reason why I continue to battle rap is competition. There's a big fear that I'm not good enough. And then there's a big realization that I am after battles are done. And it's wrestling with yourself as much as it is wrestling with another, you know, competitor. Where it's just like, the money would be great. The money would be fantastic. The looks after would be fantastic. I tend to think I'm on like the tail end of my career with battle rap. So it's not so much the looks afterwards, more so the money. But the number one thing is the competition, man. I don't know if I can beat all these guys. I think I get into a mindset where I have to believe it at some point. But competition is like, how good are you? You know, how good are you really in these tough settings? A lot of cameras on in the biggest format it's been in since. Mainly it's self-discovery. You know, it's kind of a boring answer, but it's self-discovery.
Okay. So how did you end up in Ultimate Madness? I mean, was it something that you lobbied for, that when the first Ultimate Madness was out and that you probably heard that there was a second one coming out, was it something that you had to lobby for, or was it something that they just hit you up and were like, hey, we want you in this spot?
I'll be honest, I was one of the last people picked for it.
Okay.
Because for two reasons. I'm not one of the more notable names on there, like Mike P, Danny, Saga, Loso. I would think I'll have a bigger name than me. And I think URL had different plans for me. I genuinely believe they were trying to push me this year. Not believe, we've had conversations where it's like, this is your year. I told them that I'm like, hey, I'm in the mindset this year to focus on taking more battles. So a couple of vets dropped out because they didn't want to be seen as a mid-tier battle rapper. You know, so a couple of people dropped out that were offered. A lot of people, I think it was like 4 or 5 battle rappers to where they had to turn to me, which, you know, if you believe in motivation, that's a lot. You know, it's like, once you're in the tournament, it's like, I wasn't even supposed to be here in the first place, and now you're just going to fight tooth and nail to stay there, you know.
Okay. So, recap the battle for me. I mean, you know, take me through it round by round a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, give me, you know, the feeling you had, you know, during your rounds, the feeling you had, you know, hearing Louise's rounds. You know, just take me through, I guess, the you know, the combat of it itself.
For sure. Yeah, I'll start at the very beginning without going too far back, but while you're waiting, battle day's the fucking worst. It's the fucking worst. I know a lot of battle rappers deal with nerves differently, but I was speaking to it with other battle rappers, Mike P, Danny. Danny was dealing with it a lot better because he was mad. He wanted to battle, and he wanted to beat Reaper real bad. But all the other battlers, it's like, these guys don't ever stop talking. And we get us into a room before this big day, and everyone's silent. You know, I get sick, I get nauseous. The nerves take over me. I think fear is healthy, you know, but it definitely can take you over and defeat you. So while we're waiting to be called, they told me I was going to battle first. And so that was a good and bad thing. I was like, good. You know, I've headlined some events, and it's fucking murder sitting around. You know, big events, small events. It's murder sitting around for 5 or 6 hours, wondering whether when you're going to get up there. So I was relieved when I went up first. And my ritual is I always call my mom, because I'm a mama's boy, you know, because there's like doctors in my family, and I chose to be a rapper, you know. You know, so I call my mom and just that tends to ground me a little bit because my mom's one of those like, hey, if you want to be a garbage man, go be the best garbage man you ever, you know.
If you want to be a battle rapper, go be
yeah,
the best
exactly.
battle rapper.
Yeah, and she understands 2% of it, but she's like, okay, I think you're rapping. Okay, cool. Go do that and go be the best. I believe in you, you know. And that always kind of grounds me.
Shouts to moms, man.
Shouts to moms.
To the moms out there.
Yeah. So that always grounds me, and then right after that, it's fucking more.
Okay.
Right after that, dread. Like it's like you cannot lose. You will not go home today, and then. It's just always been my ritual. I call my mom and allow myself to be emotional and remind myself who I'm doing it for. And once that's over, I close the gate and it's just like, Emerson, it's you and the man trying to kill you. And that's how I think about it. And so when I went up on stage, they called us to the stage, and mentally, Glue was kind of walking in front of me to the stage. And mentally, I didn't realize I was doing it, but I like walked in front of him. Just because like, the focus I've been on the last 2 weeks is like, don't be second. Not even in walking to the stage. You know, you're already admitting defeat, so they put us in the corner. I lost the coin toss, so he chose me to go first. And if you've been a fan of my battles, you've seen a couple of my battles, I try to give great moments. I don't always try to win. I try to give great moments. And I was throwing fucking planets at Glue. I knew in the writing, I was like, I'm throwing fucking planets at this guy. Like haymakers, like that are gonna hurt, that are gonna hit. And I wanted to attack the whole time. My battling should be like that, I think. That's not how I approach it. I can't live like that mentally. So usually my battles are like, holy shit, he said something crazy. His opponent can't say something that's crazy as that. But this is obviously tournament style, that's judged. So I'm like, I have to attack him. So the first round, I edited so much stuff to just get to the punch. Just keep attacking. Try to get 50 punches in his first round, using an angle in the second. And he stumbled on the end of his first round. And a lot of people, rappers, will ease up and be like, okay, cool, I got it in the back. That was me like, oh shit, he stumbled, let's close the fucking door. And, you know, let's close the fucking door on him. And the second round was not personal, but it was an angle about his life. So I was like, if I nail this, it's a wrap for him to shut the door. You know, and I felt like I nailed the second round, same intensity with the angles. Punches weren't as crazy, but the angles were there. And to me, the battle was over. And then after that, I was like, just make sure you cement it with the third, give a good performance in the third, and it's a wrap, and let's pack it up and move on to the next round, you know.
Okay.
A couple stumbles from him helped, you know, but.
Yeah, sometimes it's not always that easy, you know what I mean? Like some people, you know, it's battle rap, from what I've watched for years, you know, you take what you get at the end of the day. You know, you gotta take what you get. And like you said, it's not always like, you know, oh, we stumbled in the first, I'm going to ease up. Like you said, it's important to really just, you know, bring it home.
Yes.
No slip-ups or anything like that. No.
There's a lot of times where someone stumbles and then the other person stumbles because of that person. You know, they like kind of relax. So I was like, man, do not go home. Do not let this be one of those battles because momentum is so fragile in battle rap. You could feel like you're completely kicking his ass. And I thought, like I said, I thought I was throwing fucking planets at Glue that first round. I was like, yeah, I'm getting him out of here even before he rap. But as much as that's in your favor, one thing can go wrong in a battle and then all of that can switch. So I was just paranoid about that. I'm like, keep the foot on the pedal, you know, until we get to the finish line. And thankfully I was able to advance.
Now, like you said, you know, you're advancing, you get that moment, or at least the, you know, couple moments of, I get to enjoy the advancement, enjoy the win, but then you're right back to it. Now that you are kind of just enjoying the moment, enjoying the victory a little bit, how does that feel?
Not good.
Okay.
Not good, yeah. I have like a personal mantra just in life and in all things where it's like chase after your goal, achieve it, celebrate, and then repeat. You know, unfortunately in this tournament, to celebrate sometimes is like a call with your family, hey, I made it through the first round and then that's it. You know, as much time as I take smelling the roses, Holmzie could be out there writing the greatest shit of his life. Yeah. While I'm over here, you know, frolicking through the fields and shit. You know, so so there isn't no. This is going back on my mantra was like, when I have no time to celebrate, I got to go right back into it.
And now you bring up Holmzie, that's, you know, your next opponent pretty much. You know, a dude who's always kind of been around, he's made it through the PGs, he's had a couple battles, but he really exceeded expectations the other night. You know, he beat Saga, which was a heavy, heavy favorite.
Yes.
You know, how do you feel going into that matchup? You know, what's, you know, something that we're going to look out for?
I feel like me and Holmzie share a lot of parallels, man. We've been around for a long time. It's not like we're new. And we're not the high-tier battle rappers. But it's funny, I think the money and the stakes of this tournament brought the same thing out of Holmzie as it brought out of me. Mm-hmm. You know, where it's like, no battle's ever meant this much as right now and in this moment. And I feel like both of us really took advantage of that. Seeing Holmzie, I've always been a decent fan of Holmzie. I'm like, yeah, he's decent. Mm-hmm. Then I saw him in that battle, I was like, he looks fucking dangerous. And that's what this tournament is designed to do. You know, it's like, when I looked at Glue, I'm like, he's taking $25,000 from me. You know, that's why you have to approach it like, this nigga's taking $25,000 from me. And I felt like Holmzie was doing the same thing with Saga. So, mentality-wise, I know we talked a little bit after the battle, I know we're on the same wavelength. And that's someone who, if I don't have 3 complete rounds,
that's true.
It's not worth going in there. You know, where it's like, I'm already preparing. I already prepared for Glue, like it would be the best Glue I ever saw.
Yeah.
I'm already preparing for Holmzie, and now I gotta prepare for Holmzie, like it's the best Holmzie I'll ever see. Yeah.
So, you know, best case scenario, you know, you move past Holmzie, you'll end up battling the winner between Danny and Tink the Demon. Is there a preference there? I know you battled Danny. That if you battled Danny in the tournament, this would be what, the 3rd time battling Danny? Because you battled him a couple months ago as well.
Yes.
You know, Tink the Demon, that'd be a new opponent for you. Is there any preference there? I mean, is there any difference in approach? I mean, what would happen if that was the case?
I kind of already suffered from, I thought mentally that Saga was going to go to the 2nd round. I tried to, as much as I could. You know, I'm flawed, you know, so I tried to, as much as I could, not to focus on who I was going to face next time. Like, just get Glue out of the way first and worry about it. But in the back of my mind, I could tell I was mentally preparing for Saga. So, which kind of proves to be idiotic, you know, like, Holmzie did his thing, and now I got to prepare for him. So now when I look at Tink the Demon versus Danny, I do still think, I don't want to battle fucking Danny for the 3rd fucking time, you know, like, you know, it's like Ali Frazier at this point. And just because I think he's the best battle rapper in the tournament. I said that at the beginning, and I'll still say that. I think he's the best battle rapper in the tournament, but anyone can be had on any given day, you know. It'd be really interesting to battle Tink, but fortunately, it's got a coast bias, man. I want Danny to win.
Yep.
I want Danny to win every battle until he's standing in front of me.
Yep.
You know, so I hate the fact that we'd have to do it a 3rd time, but I'm rooting for Danny in all endeavors.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, West guys stick together at the end of the day.
It's a bias, man. Yeah, it's a bias.
So, once again, best case scenario, you beat Holmzie, you beat Danny or Tink, you know, you go to the finals. Is there anybody on the other side of the bracket that scares you? I don't think you're the type of dude to be scared by an opponent, but is there anybody that would, you know, push your pen more or that will keep you up at night when it comes to that? You know, there's still none left who just, once again, another dude who just broke out and had a big performance. Yes. Wavy had a big performance. Mike P made it through. So, I mean, there's a couple dudes out there. Bill Collector just made it through. So, you know, any of them from what you saw this weekend, is there someone that keeps you up at night?
It's the white guys. All my life I've had a healthy fear of white people, but this tournament's taken it to another level. No, shout out to everyone in that bracket. I think our bracket was tougher, but that bracket with Mike P and what I saw from None, I was like, what the fuck? That's another case of like, money has changed None. The opportunity to win this tournament has changed that battle rapper. He's always been decent, but he left Earth. So shout out to all the other rappers in that bracket because they're dangerous. Wavy, you know, Bill Collector. But Mike P and Nunna, their ceilings are crazy. You know, and there is, I know you say I'm not the type of rapper to be scared. There is a healthy fear. I think fear is a little healthy in your opponents. You know, I think it's good to prepare that way. So in Holmzie, there's fear. You know, but the goal is to make friends with him. Yep. You know, you try to push fear away, it becomes fucking big. You try to bury it, it becomes a monster. But like, the more you become familiar with fear, the lessons. You know, I feel bad not crediting whoever said it, but it's like, do I not beat my enemy if I befriend it? You know, it's kind of that thing. You know, it's like the thing we fear the most, we don't want to talk about, we don't want to address it, but it's like, if you know that you're scared of it. I'm scared of week 2, round 2, going up battling Holmzie, forgetting rounds or saying some stupid shit. You know, there's a healthy fear, and that fear motivates me to be over-prepared, you know? So that's my tangent. I'm fear, sorry.
So if I was, you know, a gambling man, which I actually am, but if I had, you know, some money to put down on whoever's going to win this tournament, and I want to put it on you, I figure I just want to ask, like, how do you feel about your chances of winning, of going all the way and winning the tournament?
There's phases I go through. So I think whoever's mentally healthy enough to win this will win. So when the tournament announced and it was me and Danny, I was like, oh, I'm really upset about that.
Yeah.
Let me allow myself a day to be upset about it, then move to another phase of, now you have to beat Danny Myers. You know, so right now, I think it's important to go through the phases of everything. Right now, I can't think about winning the tournament. That seems far-sighted to me, you know. I think the way to win the tournament is to take every next battle as serious as fucking possible, and that's what I'm doing. Right now with Holmzie, I'm taking that like that's winning the tournament, you know? So gambling, man, I haven't seen myself yet win the whole thing, but I will when I get there. You know,
Okay.
I got to see myself beat Holmzie first.
Yeah.
Then beat Holmzie. I got to see myself beat
whoever it is
Tink or
between
Danny.
Tink or Danny.
Yeah. I think sometimes you can miss what's in front of you if you're looking off in the distance. And,
Okay.
You know, I want to win the fucking tournament, but I think my strategy of doing that is focusing on what's next. It sounds like a bad NBA interview.
Yeah.
They're always like one game at a time.
Hey, no, that's
but-
that's true, especially in an actual tournament. I mean, like, you know, for those guys, they got 100 games to go through. So yeah, like
Yes.
it does kind of sound like you said, it's a bad
Yeah,
NBA
yeah.
player answer. But for you, I do understand what you mean. That you've got just the next battle ahead of you.
Yeah.
You don't want to get distracted with what you're gonna do with that 25K, and the next thing you know, Holmzie's, you know, he's busy thinking about you when you're thinking about that final one. So I do hear you on that.
Mhm.
And speaking of the 25K, man, last question. 25K.
Yeah.
Why do your account? What are you doing with it? First thing.
I have a specific plan for it,
Okay.
which I hope. I mean, I hate to be anonymous here, but I hope I do get to announce it when I win, because I'll have
Okay.
two very big announcements if I win the tournament, and
Cool.
I will tell everyone exactly where every cent of that money is going, and I'll have another announcement too that hopefully I'll get to.
Cool. Okay. Keep it mysterious
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
All right.
But there's
all right.
definitely a plan for it.
For sure. Okay. Well, we're gonna give our cameraman